technical difficulties. Uh, Mic check. If you can hear me, if you can hear me in the chat, if you can hear me in the chat, right? Put a one in the chat. If you can hear me in the chat, right? Big up to Bruce Kareem. All right, Shalom, young man. Bruce, hey Bruce, what's going on, man? Bruce from Queen. I know that's the brother Bruce. You know what I mean? What's going on, Bruce, man? Good to see you in the chat, man. Ain't seen you in a hot minute, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't be scared of that sunshine outside, man. You know what I mean? It's summertime. Right? Everyone in the chat, can you please let me know if you can hear me? I don't know if Bruce even heard me. Bruce, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, Bruce, in the chat. Right? Put something in the chat, Bruce, and say yeah. Or Khan, kind of what Khan, I can hear you. Put a one, something, all right? Okay. In the meantime, I'll keep pushing on, all right? Okay. Okay. Right. So what we got on the board here, right? We was breaking down the word Jordan. Okay. I was breaking down the Jordan. In the Bible we got the River Jordan and stuff like that, and was trying to translate how it is translated from the words, or rather we call it transliteration, where in English, whoever transliterated these words, they took the Hebrew words and they found a way to put it in an English sounding kind of thing. You know what I mean? So Jordan is Yaradan. Right? Jordan is Yaradan. Right? Yaradan in Hebrew. We went to Yarad and we isolated Yarad to its root. Yarad means descend. Descend means an action of going down. Yarad means going down. To turn a verb into a word, you would use an instance of what we call a wan. Right? Wan turns verbs into names. Verbs into names. Okay. And then I brought an example of Zabalawan and Shemaiwan. Right? Zabalawan, the word is Zabal, dwell, which is a verb. It's where you live. It's a doing, where you live is a doing thing. You know what I mean? Zabal is where you live, it's where you dwell. And I put live underneath because I didn't want to say, oh, live, and you start thinking it's live or alive. I didn't want to think, live like that, right? So I put dwell, right? Zabal is dwell. Now, Zabala one, now we know we're talking about a name because of the one. And this one, in instances, I don't know what time, what point, but this one then became just a not at the end of a word. Right? Which is what the instance we see in Yaradan. And the instances are everywhere. Let's look at all the names that end in ON for some of them. The ones that end in AN, you probably have the same instance with the N. The ON, you have an instance with the one, right? Because of course we got this book over here from Yale University, right? It's the book we have here from Yale University. All right, because of course, black people talk, people don't respect when black people talk. A lot of the world is very convinced that black people, Latino, Native Indians, that we don't know anything. So we go get the books from lovely white academia that you all love and respect, and that you will hear them and not hear us. So we got the books that you listen to. The Hebrew sheet, you get that from your camp leader. Locate your camp leader. Locate your city and state. Go to the camp leader and ask for a Hebrew sheet so you can participate also. Right, get the sounds right on your vocabulary, your sounds right. It says right here, Yale University Press. Right, scholarship in languages. right? Bonnie Pedrati Kittle, Vicky Hoffer, and Rebecca Apps Wright, Jewish, Italian, and English language scholars in the Hebrew, right? So you can see also, right? From, here, that book we're teaching from here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to page 3, right? We're gonna go to page 3. Okay. And on page 3, we're gonna go to our favorite chapter or paragraph in this book right here. And say it again. Vocalization. What does that mean? Oh, vocalization. There we go. The water. I haven't even looked at that. I haven't even noticed it. Right. The chapter is called vocalization, meaning how you say things in the biblical Hebrew, how you vocalize things. Okay, good. So in the top it says, the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world. Notably, right? Some people say, oh, Hebrew's a fake language, or there's no Hebrew's new, or there's civilizations older than Hebrew. Noted Yale Universities, right? Who's good on education. They said Hebrew is the Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world. Still in use today, referring to the Jewish man who uses it, right? Our own alphabet, referring to the English, our own alphabet is a descendant of it by a circuitous root. Yes, Jordan. Say again. Yeah, their Hebrew is not the Hebrew that they're talking about. Yale University is going to clear it up as to what they're doing, right? Well, very good, right? Okay, right. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflects several periods of development, which is what you're talking about, right? The Jewish man, he has some form of development from his language to what they consider their ancestors, which is really not their ancestors. They consider it their ancestors, and comparing their language today, the way they speak, the way they write, compared to the language that is on the text in the past in what they call Aramaic. The Bible don't call it Aramaic. They call it Aramaic. They see several periods of development, they say, right? Originally, right, reading the text now. Originally, what does origin mean? What does origin mean? Who knows what the word origin means? In the beginning. Originally, meaning in the beginning. Only the consonants were used. Originally, in the origin, only the consonants were used. Comparing to what? Comparing to someone else who does not use consonants only? Is there someone else that does not use consonants only? It says only the consonants were used, comparing to someone who doesn't only use consonants anymore. Someone is using vowels now. Huh? Consonants. Let me run on the board. Consonants. All right. Consonant. Consonant. Right. Let's get is Alexa here with us? Alexa. Yo, Alexa. Alexa's dead. She's on life support right now. Right. If you plug her out, she dies. Right. Right. Google. Let's get Google. You know what I mean? You always can depend on Google, right? Consonant. Definition of consonant. All right. And consonant is the opposite of a verb. Right. So the only consonants were used, meaning no verbs. Okay. We got the definition of consonant. Nice and loud, please, Shagapon.
A basic speech sound in which the breath is at least partly obstructed and which can be combined with a vowel to form a syllable, denoting or relating to a consonant, sound, or letter.
What? Sure, right? So a consonant is a letter with a sound. Now, you have a Hebrew sheet in front of you, Jordan, right? And what I want to do is, right? I want me, you and Ashar, right, to have a run over the sounds of these consonants. Now, of course, in English, the language requires you to put a not a verb. I put a verb. I put vowel. My bad, yo. What the Lord say? Slip the tongue, not of the heart, right? A slip of the tongue, not of the heart, right? Vowel. Okay. By the way, English is the world's silliest language, right? The silliest language, right? You got one word for chicken, and you got another word for poultry. You got one word for beef and one for cow. You know, same thing, right? By the way, cow is English, beef is French, right? And chicken is English, and poultry is French, right? Pollo, Spanish. Pollo is from poulet, from poultry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Same thing. Goat, English, mutton, French. Right? Good. So there's no vowels in the ancient Hebrew, in the Israelites' Hebrew, right? Hebrew alphabet sheet. We read from the right to left, so we're gonna start over here. We're not gonna start over here like in English. If you are from a fake Israelite group, you've probably seen this sheet before. I know the fake Israelites, they take this sheet and they cut off the Israelite school of UPK at the top. They cut off this Israelite school of UPK at the top and teach this sheet as if it's their own. All right. And we're going to start at the beginning. You ready, Jordan? With me, all right? You're gonna repeat after me. You're gonna point to it, the first letter to your right, right, and you're gonna point to where it says ah. You see where it says ah? Good. All right. Now count of 3. Shalash, Shanya, Akkad, ah, ba, 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 ga. No, you're gonna repeat after me. We're not taking turns. We're gonna repeat after me. So I'm gonna say ah, you're gonna say ah. I'm gonna say ba, you're gonna say ba. All right. Okay. Ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ha. That's good. That's good. It's called a harsh H. So you got a soft H, which is 3 letters before, and then you got the harsh H. This is called a harsh H. Ha. It's using the tonsils. You gotta use the tonsils, all right? Right? Ha. Good. Ta. Ya. Ka. La. Ma. Na. Sa. I. Pa. Taza. Qua. Ra. Sha. Tha. Good. Right? And that is our Hebrew alphabet. Shaw, you want to give it a go? You good? Right? Oh, Shaw, you forgot it, bro. You forgot it? I'm messing with you. Okay, go ahead. Good. Right? And those are the consonants. Even the ah is a consonant. Right? The I is a consonant, meaning what? You don't put ah and I with a consonant to make a sound. All of those Hebrew characters meaning the figures that they are written in, right? The figures that the letters that you call a letter, those things themselves are sounds. All right, they are all a singular sound for each one. All right. Originally, only the consonants were used, according to Yale University. By the time of the Israelite kingdoms, They're referring to Jewish people. They're referring to Jewish people as if they were an extension of the Israelite kingdoms. Then they start saying some consonants, ya, wa, and ha, were used to indicate certain vowels, which is so dumb, right? You know, a consonant cannot be used as a vowel because a consonant is a consonant. Say it again. The Jewish kingdoms, but the Jewish kingdoms, right? They began to use some consonants as vowels. All right. And we're gonna say what consonants they were, right? You ready? Ha. Put ha, H-A equals A. All right. You might want to put this part right here. You might put this in like a little diagram underneath your sentence, right? Ha equals A. Right? Ya, Y-A equals I or E. All right. Wa, which is W-A. Wa, which is W-A, equals O or U. All right. This is straight out of Yale University. All right. You go up to the head priest that found this information here, right? I believe they dug it up from the New York Central Public Library, or they probably got some tip from Yale University itself. But this book is from Yale University. All right. These letters continue to be used as consonants as well. Much later in the Middle Ages, oh wow, the Middle Ages. I wonder what time that was. That's when the Khazarians converted en masse to Judaism, so they cannot be involved with the Christian Muslim conflicts. The time right after that, right? I shall put in what years was the Christian Ottoman Wars. Yeah. I can't even say Christian Muslim because that could technically be today. You know what I mean? Okay. And the answer is
The war between Christian powers and the Ottoman Empire took place over a long period spanning centuries, with significant conflicts occurring from the late 13th century up through the early 20th century.
There we go. Right. So right there we go. So Christian Ottoman Empire. Christian is the the white guys in Europe, and then you got the Ottoman, which is the Muslims in the Middle East, right? They go to war, and they're fighting from the 13th century up till the 20th century. That's what they call the Middle Ages, all right? Go back to StreamYard so I'm going to see what's going on, right? The water show, right? So the Middle Ages, they're referring to that point right there, right? 13th century to 20th century, where the Khazarians, that we now call the Jewish people, they wanted no parts of that war. So they say, you know what? We're going to find big up to Angela Rispers. Shalom, sis, all right? Who's that there? Claw. Big up to Claw. Shalom. You say my Mapatiza? Or your Quatiza. Big up to your Quatiza. You know what I mean? Isupk Buffalo. What's going on there? You're Jarrell Brown. I see you out. Shalom. Okay. Good. So quick history, right? Roman Empire coming up, right? They expanded into different countries and stuff like that. Council of Nicaea, they take Greek, the Greek religion, the Greek and Roman religions, and they put Bible names on top of Roman gods, and they formed Christianity at the Council of Nicaea, where all sort of blasphemies were put on not on the Bible, but on the religion. As Christians don't believe the Bible. Christians do Christmas. The Bible says don't do Christmas. Christians celebrate Easter with bunny rabbits and eggs, but then that's not in the Bible. all that kind of stuff, right? And they want to put Christianity around the world, which they have done today. Islam, likewise, the opposition, they want to push Islam around the world and say Muhammad is the messenger of God, right? Good, right? Mm-hmm. Bloody conflict. The Jewish man says we're not gonna get involved in your wars. We're gonna turn to a religion that the Christians respect, because the religion, the people of the Bible were the Jews, so they say they were the Jews, right? And of course, Muhammad, right, in his religion, right, the Quran says to obey the books of the Jews in the book of Second Surah, right? They respect Moses and all those and the prophets, they say, right? So now so now they become allies to both sides, and what do? Sell insurance to both sides of the Christians and the Muslims. That's how they became Jewish. All right, good. Okay, good. Much later in the Middle Ages, a system of dots and dashes was devised to indicate vowels. So they stopped using the ha, ya, and the wa so much, and they started to put dots and dashes to indicate certain vowels. This was done by scholars that we call Masoretes, or in this book, Masoretes. By that time, the text was so sacred that the vowel letters ya, wa, and ha could not be removed, and neither could they be. That's where the Masoretic text came from. But now, because they found things so sacred, they would not remove certain things. And then for the ancient scriptures also, of course, if you look in the Tanakh, right, they don't add their vowels on things, but they would put a dot and dash around it. All right. They don't want to change the text. All right. So there's no questions online, right? Big up to hey Nakara. Hey mom, what's going on, mom? Big up to sister Nakara. Hebrew Dave. Hey, shalom, brother. All right. You want to say something? Okay. So let's go get some instances of where they added some of these vowels, right? Let's go get a shalom, right? You've seen it. Some of you've seen this before. Shalom, right? Shalom, and what they'll write it like this. They'll write like this: Sha, La, Wam, and Ma. Right? Sha, La, Wam. Right? Okay. Remember now that the indication is that a O is this Wa right here. They added. Oh, they can't see on the TV because of the. There we go. Right? There's a block the shadow of the TV. Right? Is it shiny to you on the board too from where you at? You getting the TV reflection? Let me see if I can. What can I do? Get my ad light. I want to take away light. Right, let's just Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't want to do it. I can't really see it. There we go. Right? Shalom. Right? So that's how the Jewish man says peace according to his culture that he has taken and has done things for his own language. And we don't really care what he does. We don't care what he does, because what he does, as long as they don't change the records, it's fine. All right? And whatever he does don't mean that we have to do. Envy not the oppressor, the Lord said. Right? Learn none of his ways. You see what I'm saying? Follow not the heathen and learn none of his ways, Jeremiah said. All right? Learn not the ways of the Egyptians or the Canaanites or anyone that surrounds you. Learn none of their ordinances, it says in Leviticus 18. All right? Good. But you got that, Jordan, right? Okay, good. So when you go in the Bible now, right? The way to say peace is shalom. I'm running too far away. I'm not right so far away, right? I'm gonna put it more in the area of where we're working at. Okay. Okay. So if you take out the wa, take out that wa right there, right? Then you're just left with sha lam, right? You left with 3 letters instead of 4. They added an extra letter, right? So I'm gonna write it like this, right? Shalom, shalom, right? So you hear us say shalom, you hear the Jewish man say shalom, but then you have some people that respect the Jewish man's culture and not the Israelites in the UPK, because of course people respect white people. They do not respect when black people talk. So a long time ago in the 1990s, right? They conspired against the school and went to men who are not planted, who are like seeds, men who are like seeds who are not planted in good ground. There were some men that were planted in stony ground. They were not rooted in the truth. Okay? And what they did was they said, hey, wait, you guys just became Israelites in 1969. These Jewish men have been trying to be Israelites since the 1300s. And they write shalom like this. Shalawam. So if you take the Lashawan Qadash and you put with what the Jewish man got, then you have Shalawam Aki Shalawam. Shalawam Aki. Respecting the Jewish man. Writing of shalom in the Hebrew. So see, the UPK guys, they got it all wrong, because when I go to Crown Heights and Williamsburg, they write Shalawam. Let me take the X off so you can see it properly, Jordan. All right. And Jordan, be free, all right? Be free and get it all right? Right? My mom says, Amma says shiny. Right? Talking about the board, right? So let me fake Israelites changed the shalom because they wanted to respect how the Jewish man spelt shalom. All right. So shalom is 3 letters, 3 Hebrew letters, sha, la, and wa, ma, sha, la, ma, right? The Jewish man, in pronouncing his letter O, he put an O there to write the O, to indicate the O according to Yale University. They got to put a wa. A wa is how they say O in Yiddish, right? So they added the O there. So now, with the addition of the O, instead of 3 letters, they've made it 4 letters for themselves. Sha, la, wa, ma, right? And the fake Israelites who did not like the ISUPK since 1969, they wanted to create their own groups in 1995 and all kind of stuff. Respecting how the Jewish man spelt, they applied the vocalization to the Jewish man's spelling, because they respected the Jewish man's spelling instead of the records, right? Sha, la, wam. Now, what I want you to do, Shah, right? I want you to go to the book of, I don't know if you can put up like the blue letter, and we go get Ezra chapter 4. I believe it's Ezra chapter 4 and 17. I don't need a blue letter. You can use any interlinear that is of your choosing. Anyone is fine. Interlinear. Yeah, we want to, the Hebrew, and we want to point out. You know what I mean? We want to point out. Okay. Also, we're welcoming any questions. Right. If you want to read the book right here too, if you want to look at the chapter while where he's getting that. All right. Right. Book from Yale University here. Okay. Just go open to page 3. All right. This book cost us $60. It cost us $60, and I burnt my paychecks from my slavery at the time, and I got 4 of them. Ran my paycheck up. Ezra, chapter 4, 17. 4:17. All right. No, Ezra is in the Old Testament. It's okay. It's okay. Shaw, just see who's at the door right quick. Right? I'll keep going. It's okay. Come on. Right. Okay. So in the ancient Hebrew, Shalom. I saw y'all. Hey, what's going on there? What's going on there? This is the next Hebrew teacher to take over. You know what I mean? I'm glad that everybody's getting the Hebrew. You know what I mean? Big up Yara Yala too. We gotta go over some small talk. We're gonna go over some things that we can say and conversation wise. Anything you want to say, get them ready. Get them ready in your thoughts. We're gonna get some of those too. Okay. All right. If you find the page, all right, Jordan, right? There we go. You on the top paragraph, all right? Yeah, man. Okay. Any questions? Let me know, Jordan, whenever you're ready, all right? If you have any, that's fine, all right? Also, if you have any Hebrew questions in the week, write them down, put a note in your phone somewhere, put them on we call them the sticky tabs, square, you call those in the square sticky tabs. Write a note on them, man. What does this mean? I want to know. I'm really concerned about what this means. I'm bringing Hebrew questions Friday. All right, teachers, students alike, enemies, feel free. You know what I mean. Other Israelite groups, feel free to ask questions. It's your language too. You see what I'm saying? The Jewish man who might have a question, white Christian, you wonder why we do this, or you wonder why we say this about the Hebrew. Be question in the chat, it's fine and welcome. You know what I mean? I answer it. You know what I mean? Okay, people who want to challenge us, we welcome you too. We do battle in here. You know what I mean? Isaiah in chapter 1 of Isaiah, he said to battle. You see what I'm saying? Come together and reason together. He said, "Thus saith the Lord," out of the mouth of Isaiah. Okay. Right quick. Okay. Okay, there we go. A word text change it. Be careful of the wire. That wire, sensitive wire, man. We gotta get a new camera. Yeah. Oh, most iron cracks on the way. All right. So let me get rid of the bottle one here. This pen, this ink right here, a little dry. Hold on. Ooh. have something that is very similar today as to what we would call black talk. So you're not going to see instances like this everywhere, right? You might not see the Yah used everywhere. You might not see it at all. You might see things that are said. You have things that are said and are not written based on, whatever was proper. The records are made to be put proper. They're very, things are very formal. People are making records, okay? But this is the rules, right? This is the rules. Wa in the middle is how we see ing. Ya in the middle is how you say ed, right? So of course, now shalom, right? The fake Israelites say shalom. Shalom is an actual word, but shalom is not this. It's not the greeting. Oh, Aisha, we're trying to get my mic is off. No sound. How about now? Yeah, SL, EL. The battery probably died. Young man Bruce, no sound. The song with the let them know the mic is off. Okay. Yeah, but throw water for the communication, all right? Can you hear me now, EL? Can you hear me now? I know, it's lucky. Mic check. Microphone check. Mic check. Microphone checked. There we go. All right. Okay. It's probably the battery probably down. Also, I wanted to get Ezra chapter 4, verse 17. Right? Ezra chapter 4, verse 17. Lima Charlie. Hey, that's military term. Yo, put us on, man. Spit that military lingo, man. It was Lima Charlie. LC. What does that mean? LC. Lima Charlie. We got the quarters up, man. You know what I mean? What do you say? LC? Loud and clear? Oh, hey, most time Christ, man. You know what I mean? Loud and clear, you know what I mean? Big up the quarters. Big up to all the brothers that left that US military, man. Honors, all dishonors, man. We welcome you to the truth. The Lord said, you know, I mean, bring the good and the bad, and the good and the bad is all good to us when they come and be here and come here and be reborn. And the good in the world is not even good. What we call good in the world is Christians. The bad in the world is, what you call gangsters, criminals. You know what I mean? And both of them are evil unto the Lord. You know what I mean? But you come into here and everybody comes brand new. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, you become forgiven of. You become a new man. You get a clean slate with the Most High, Jordan. Yes. So you're going through a period where you're shutting yourself off the world. You know what I mean? So after 6 months, you become 90 days. You become a trooper. You're all black. You become a trooper. You know what I mean? Please. Microphone.
For every young man that enters into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you can come to camp. You are just not allowed or permitted inside the camp. So you would be viewing with everyone else watching us at camp. You are still expected, if you're able to, if your zeal is high enough and your dedication is there, you're still expected to wear all black and to stand out there while camp is going until the very end. Now, tomorrow, the brothers are going to Boston. Unfortunately, unless you're able to find a way there, you will not be able to come with us per se. But if we have camp anywhere here in New York City, you are more than welcome to meet us there at that campsite, wherever we're having it at. Okay?
Right on, Asha. Next week, we're going to be having camp in Brooklyn, New York, the 28th. We're going to be having camp in Brooklyn, New York on the 28th. Okay? Not that I know of. It would be a good idea. If someone suggested, please. You know what I mean? Do all that. But I know downtown is camp. You know what I mean? Fulton Street. You know what I mean? at the Macy's, right? The Lord said the Macy's belongs to the Lord now. Huh? Yes, it's gone. Remember, we was across the street, and we was like, across the street it will be a better camp. It's in the shade, you know what I mean? Summertime is hot. So if we had that Macy's, man, if we had that Macy's, we'll be out here enjoying the cool breeze under the shaded from the sun. And we got more space. We have a regional camp there. We can have the whole sidewalk, and as you know, the Lord shut Macy's down, and now we're gonna have camp there right at the door where you used to go in there. People that love to go in the Macy's door there, 422 4th Street. Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there next week. All right. So look out for that, all right? Captain Desire, all the heavy hitters. You know what I mean? Who's the heavy hitters? You know what I mean? Ashagapan. You know what I mean? Bring out articles that you love.
I'll be there.
Lord allow. Okay, Lord allow Ashagapan be there. You know what I mean? Oh, allow is a good word too, right? Allow. You're gonna see this a lot in that Exodus too. Allow is Yathan. All right. Yeah, Allah. Okay. A command. Get the scripture. Right. Nathan is give. Right. I'm writing all over the place. Allow is Nathan. Nathan give. These words are born out of each other. Yathan and Nathan are born out of each other. Right? Hence from the word son. Right? So the word son means if you compound anything on the front here, right? Which is a preposition. You put a preposition here. Right? You knock off the na. That's the word. That's the rules when it comes to Hebrew words that begin with na. It's like a special thing with na. I don't know why it's like that, right? But words that begin with na, when it's time to add a preposition there, replace a preposition there, like Yah is a preposition, say it. Right? Remember, Nathan is giving, right? If you allow someone pass, right, you have given him way. You allowed him to, you gave him the right to do that. It's something you give. You allowed it to. You could give it and you could take it away. So I'm not allowing you to do that anymore. I'm not giving you that right anymore. Right? Okay. Which one are you looking at? This one? This one? Okay, this is for preposition. Right? Preposition. Remember, pre means before. In contrary to post, which means after, right? Pre means before, right? Position would be referring to the root word, the word in focus, the root word, right? I'm trying to give it a stage so you can understand. I'm trying to just give you everything that you need. So, when we get into other classes in other weeks, we can understand what's going on. These are the key things to look out for. Everything on the board you need. Everything on this board you need, right? When we get to reading that Saturday service, you're gonna see all of this into play, right? I know right now if you came late, all of this is in your face at one go. It might be a little difficult for you, right? But as it was going along, breaking it down little by little, I'm hoping that everybody gets it. Anything that anybody does not understand, please let me know, right? I'll break it down. I'll break it down again. I'll run things over. What time we got? 8:35. We got 25 minutes to be out of here, right? 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right? Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So, all right. So we'll stay till 10 then, right? That's the 10. Nah. Hey, you want to do the cyber service tonight? Yeah. Yeah, you can. You know what I mean? All right. Jordan, want to hang around? It's Sabbath service, man. If you don't know what to do, you know what I mean? I wanted Ezra 4 and 17. I saw. You got it? Bring it up, Babu Shah. All right, so here we go. If you share the page, and then so we're gonna do now. We're gonna look at the transliteration, right? Or we call this the interlinear, right? Right. So it's gonna show. See if you can go to the page and zoom it up a little bit. I want the part at the end. Okay, there we go. Right. That part at the end. You see that part at the end right there? Down. There we go. Shalom. You see that right there? What does that say? That says peace. Peace. Peace is shalom. Okay. Okay. Let's get the King James version and compare it. We're gonna run the whole verse down. As a matter of fact, yeah, get the King James version, right? And anybody, who you got a Bible? You got a Bible? You don't got a Bible, right? Okay. Let me get the Bible, right? Go back to the verse, Aisha. Okay. Yeah, most time, big up the Captain Zaya, man. I think he was in a battle just now. Oh, he's in a stream. Okay. Captain Desark is a man that works. You know what I mean? If you ever call Captain Desark and you don't get him, don't be mad at him. He's working. He's doing more work than you would ever do. He does his slavery and he works. You see what I'm saying? He's about that. He's about the Lord's business. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So scroll down to the Hebrew again. Right quick. There we go. There, nice and big. There we go. Oh, you can do it like that and highlight. Run the mouse over the part at the end where it says shalom. Right there we go. That's shalom right there. Is this right that we got right here? Shalama, 3 letters. Right. That's what's going on there. This is not say shalom, shalom. There's no wa in there, and that word means peace. All right, that's what we've got on the board here, right here, right? You can scroll down again so they can see it. I know you got the writing bigger now. Scroll all the way down to where it says shalom. Okay. To the left it says peace, and then it breaks down the word and the root of that word, which is shalom. All right, good. You can drop that. All right, good. So we're gonna get before we do that, the small talk, we're gonna do kan other one kan other one. Do I have enough space on the board? Let me write it underneath. I'm gonna erase all of this shalom and shalom stuff from the board, right? But if any Israelite from any, some other rogue group or some rogue guy from, from some Israelite group or camp or something like that comes to you and greets you in shalom, off the bat, just know that he don't know Hebrew. You could say shalom, kwam yashrala, yahaba shim shabagata, halal waya. Right? He says all these Hebrew things to you, and you over there, wow, this guy's spitting Hebrew, this guy's spitting bars, man. Hebrew. That brother don't know no Hebrew. Okay. Right. Mic check. Microphone check. All right, brothers out there, make sure y'all pay your tithes. Right, tithe is for if you have income. If you don't have income, your tithe is 0. Right, because 10% of 0 is 0. But if you earn $1, you owe the Lord 10 cents. We need microphones, man. We need batteries. We need cameras. Come on, man. I mean, the nation runs off itself. You know what I mean? And we have to learn to be self-dependent. All right, we cannot be dependent on the white man for everything. You know, no, we're not getting a grant for a camera. We're not getting a grant for some batteries. Pay tithes. All right. All right. Good. Before, hold on. Okay, let me write this on the board. Right, go first, right? Let's go. Get Khan other one. Khan. Da one Khan. And this is from the Bible, right? As a matter of fact, we should be coming up to it soon in that cyber service. If you find it, note it, please. I've been looking for it for years. I told a brother we was doing it in the cyber service years ago, pre-COVID, looking for Khan other one Khan. We found it, and I said, brothers, write this down. Note this for me and give it to me after class. Nobody wrote it down. You know what I mean? 7 years later, still can't find that one verse that says Khan other one Khan. It was not in. I don't know where it was at, but it was in. Remember, we was reading from Genesis up to about. We read all the Judges. We were Joshua, Judges. We might have been in Judges. After Judges is what? Ruth? Not Ruth, right? I think Ruth, I wasn't there for. I think Yeftazar might have took over around that time. You know what I mean? So up to about Judges. We were reading in Hebrew, English, and English and Hebrew all the way up to that time in the cyber service, and we came across Khan other one Khan, right? So Khan is our way of saying yes. Other one is Lord, right? Lord. Today in English, you'd call this like sir, right? And yes. It's a militaristic phrase. Very similar to the oppressor. The oppressor copies. He's a culture vulture. And he says, sir, yes, sir. That's what he does. He says, sir, yes, sir. He does that. We say, yes, sir, yes. Yes, Lord, yes. All right. What is that? What is that? Mark. That's the New Testament. Okay. So you got that, Jordan, right? Khan other one Khan, right? Good. All right. Okay. What else can we put on? So let's go get some small talk, right? Let's go get some small talk. Any phrase that anybody wants to say, a phrase that you say often, right? Let me know right now. We'll get that. Okay. That's how we get the word how. Ka ma. Ka is like. Ma is what. Now, of course, you've all heard of the word como. Como. What language says como? Como allez-vous? Como. No, that's different. That's wait, hold on. Is that similar? Como allez-vous? Right, French, right? But they spell it like comment. Como. In French, they say como allez-vous, meaning it's supposed to mean like allez is supposed to be like where or something like that, right? Who's you? But it's supposed to be like how are you? Como allez-vous? Okay, but como, right? Como estás? Right? Como estás? ¿Cómo está? No Spanish? Español? ¿Habla español? I'm not Spanish neither, right? But, I know a little bit, you know what I mean? There's un poquito habla español, you know what I mean? Como is how you say how in Spanish, right? Como is how in Spanish. Just so happened to be. Hold on. Hey, Google, what is como allez-vous? So give me como available. Let me get the Google Translate. Como allez-vous?
How are you?
Okay, so in French, como is how as well in French. Right there you go. So now you just found out the Hebrew origin of Spanish and French. Right, it comes from Hebrew. Who would have known? The oldest alphabet in the world, even our language today or our alphabet today, comes from a circuitous root, according to Yale University. So I want to say want. All right. So want. In Hebrew, you might want something. You might be in the class, maybe thirsty. You might want something. Want is awa. Awa. Okay. And then we'll do you want. You want. We're gonna say. Let me do it formally. I don't want to confuse nobody, right? Let's do it formally. We see how about Shimashai Barak Atha. Atha is how you say you formally, right? Atha, awa. All right, let's get the basics. All right, basics, right? He want. He in the Hebrew is ha wa'a. Ha wa'a. You want, he want, hawa'a awa. Okay. We're gonna want she want. She want, right? She is haya'a. Haya'a. Haya'a wa. Okay, good. There, right quick. I want or I am want, right? I want formally, put we sometimes put anakia, right? Sometimes put anya, anakia. Yeah, in there, Aisha, anakia. Okay, all right. So anakia, right? We put anakia here, so we cannot be strange to it when we see it. Anakia. Anakia awa. All right. Also from your local Hebrew teacher, right? Contact your local Hebrew teacher for the preposition form and the possessive form. All right. What's in there? Yahweh, your son. Yes. Yes. Lord willing, right? Can I erase the allow? Well, I see people still talking about it. I'm gonna leave the allow on the board. I'm gonna remove Nathan. Right, I'm gonna leave the allow on the board, being that everybody likes allow, because we always say Lord allow. You know what I mean? We always say that. You know what I mean? Remember to not use the Lord's name in vain. What's a way to say Lord allow, or God allow? We say Allahayim. What we need more. We need examples from the scriptures. Yeah. So what we do is, for now, Yahweh Yathan, right? And it's good because you get to use the word Yathan. If you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? That's like your math. None of you don't remember nothing that you learned in high school math. You went to college, you got a degree, you don't remember nothing in that college. Nothing. You know what I mean? You thought you was a big Billy badass when you went to college learning all that stuff. Right? Me. Right? And then we leave college and then we don't remember nothing in there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Sure. Can you also test to that? That when you leave college, you don't remember nothing after you left it.
Yeah, I don't remember nothing I left.
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing I learned in physics or chemistry class. I remember what I learned in history and my history classes.
Okay.
Or things I learned in the law classes or criminology courses.
Con.
But I can't tell you what the square root of 247 divided by 3/4 of the 64 cubed.
You don't remember your calculus, brother?
Yeah.
The calculus? Hermano. No calculus?
What does that have to do with my life?
You learn all this stuff. Some of them, so you never even use it. They call it a requisite, a prerequisite. You never use it, man. You know what I mean? You know what we need? We need to learn how to make money. That's what we need. We need buildings and businesses. We need what they say, an economic plan. You know what I mean? Yeah, we need the Lord to be with us to take over the world. You know what I mean? That's what we need. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we go to college, pay all this money, can't pay your rent. You know what I mean? People talking about you need an economic plan. There's no economic plan without the Lord. None. Right? You come together. You come together with 5 brothers. You want to get into some real estate business. The brothers are all stealing from each other. You're fighting over $5. You don't even get to the house because you have no brotherhood. You just don't know or understand the laws of the Most High. The rules to your race, the rules to get things done. You learn that here in the ISUPK, right? Good. Right quick. Run. Run is Ra-Tazar. Ra-Tazar. Right? Ra-Tazar. Ra-Tazar. Right? Okay. Run is Ra-Tazar. If you want to make that bus, if you're willing to get that bus, you're going to run for it. You run for things that you want. Okay? So Ratazar then became the word for will in that instance. Okay? Now to say Lord willing, you need to find out what is the word for willing. You need to find the word for running. You because the word for will is run. Will is run. Right? Willing, running. And this right here, this instance is used everywhere, right? Barak is your knees. You're going in to pray. Next thing you know, blessing is now Barak. All right. You got what's them words again? You got your shoulder. You got your shoulder. And then you look at the shoulder of a mountain, and then you call that thing a cliff. Shakam, right? Your shoulder shakam. And then all of a sudden now the cliff is shakam. All right. You got the word for leaven. Leaven, rises bread. He said, damn, this dude right here, this guy right here got courage. He got puffed up. This brother got leaven in him. And then you go look for the word courage. The word for courage is leaven, amatazah. Right? That's just the way of how we do things. The way how we do things. You know what I mean? Come on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you can get on the board. Amataza. Let me write on the book. Give an example of words that mean one thing, and then our culture is to take one thing that we can see and then relate it to something else. Right? So, leaven makes bread rise. And there's some men who do rise to the occasion. They rise, they get courage. You know what I mean? And that's like how bread is filled with air to get fluffy. There's a man who gets filled with air. And we would say, oh, that man's courageous. He just, he's doing that. You know what I mean? And we say, oh, wow, he got leaven in him. It's just a metaphorical way. It's just how we talk. Right? And that word courage, was the same word for leaven, amatazah. All right? Okay. Right. So, Lord willing, I'm running out of space down here. Let's put Yahweh. Right. And we're going to put Rawatazah. Right. Rawatazah. Right. Right, Yahweh Rawatazah. Yahweh Rawatazah. Okay. Okay. Oh, we got more questions there. Forensic science is a prerequisite of chemistry. Okay. Definitely not, sir. What is the Mariah? Big up to Mariah Lashawan. What's going on? All right. Highlight. Right. All right. Any more questions? All right. We got our small talk up here. I want. You want. He wants. She wants. Let's get the word. Let's get the word for water. Right. Mayam. Right. Let's get bread. Bread or food. Right. Bread. Bread is lakam. Okay. I know we covered a lot of Hebrew today. We covered today. Do we want to take it down from here? We good? What time we got there? 9:01. And with that, I'll pass the class to police officer of 500. 500? Yeah, I saw you all. There we go. Stop it up.
Oh man. Check. It's wild. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister, to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ishra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or a teacher. Priest funds is a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, the next high holy day should be the memorial of blowing of the trumpets, which will be in September-ish. We'll update the date. Stay tuned to the social media to get the updates on that date. Follow ISUBK_HQ on Instagram. TikTok is HQ Harlem. HQ_Harlem for the updates on the dates. The cookout will be coming up at the end of August. Check the bulletin board. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I majum. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Imagine, which means stand. I give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I majum Shabbat. I majum Barak. Yahweh Shem Shai Brakathum. Yahweh Shem Shai Brakathum. Yajim Matah, which means hands down, dismiss.